In this video, I'm going to test something that I've never really used before, which is the highlight tone priority, HTP, in the Canon 90D, on the Canon 90D. If you're like me and you bracket your exposures with, as an example, landscapes, seascapes, you might not have touched this setting either, but I wanted to explore it, and this is what I've found. Highlight tone priority HTP is a setting that preserves the highlights. It could be something like the sky or any particular part of the photo scene where the highlight is potentially going to blow out a bit. When enabled, it tells the camera to underexpose. Now, if I was simply bracketing, I'd say, let's as an example of comparison, I'd be underexposing as well, and it's got that in common. But the difference with the HTP is that it then applies a tonal correction to bring up the shadows. But that tonal correction only applies to the JPEGs. With the RAW files, what it does is that it brings the exposure down. I think with the D+, it's 2/3 of a stop, something like that, and the D+2, I think it's a full stop, maybe a little bit more, something around those two. That's your guideline. With the RAW file, though, if you're bracketing, and we'll talk more about this later, it kind of becomes redundant because there is no tonal adjustment with the RAW file. Keep in mind also that when you open up your RAW file, in some, but not all processing software, it will actually compensate. It'll read that it's a HDR compensation exposure, and it will lift it by that amount of exposure. But don't be fooled, because the original exposure will have captured that extra highlights by being reduced. It's just compensated. I hope that makes sense. Some people comment that there's a loss of quality in the shadows, that what it does, the tonal range in the, say, in the JPEGs, it then lifts those shadows and maybe you get a bit of noise or a bit of flattening of the tone as a result. I'd have to use it more to fully tell, but I can see how there'd be a tendency towards that. It comes in two options. It comes in the D+, the standard, and the D+2, which is the enhanced, which is a greater effect. So it'll be bringing the exposure down even more. One big key point, the minimum ISO that this works off, it literally forces the ISO to 200. So if you wanted to work on 100, forget it. It's just, this is not going to be great for you. I like to work my landscapes, seascapes, generally, not always by any means, but often I'm shooting at 100 ISO. So for me, this would be ruled out simply because it goes to the auto, it pushes to the 200 ISO minimum. The setting mainly alters the JPEGs. That's what it's all about, really. If you're shooting JPEG, this is something that you'd potentially be looking at. If you're just shooting RAW, forget it. I think in my mind, there's just no point to it. For me, this is very much about JPEGs. People might disagree with me, but it's only if I was shooting JPEGs, happy with a 200 minimum ISO, and didn't have the chance to bracket, say I wanted to do some quick shots, that's the sort of situation where I'd be using this. That's where it potentially has some scope from my personal point of view. So here's some test shots, but I should point out that at the time I took these, I didn't realize I was going to be making this video about it. And I was taking the test shots just for my own reference. So they're not on a tripod, the framing does slightly alter, the light was moving fast, so there's a lot of variables is what I'm saying about these shots in the first place. So it's not exactly a scientific test, but you get the general gist. The first image is with the HTP off, HTP plus D+, I should say, which is the lesser control, and the HTP D+2, I think it's about a stop difference. I think that's what it does. The D+ is about 2/3 of a stop, is my understanding. And there's no question that it does bring the highlights down. As I say, I'd have to work more in the shadowy areas to see what true effect, whether the noise was lifted. And of course, scene to scene, it's going to vary a lot. So I can see the wisdom in it, but only if I didn't have the time to do my normal bracketing, etc. Other than that, I'm not going to be worried about this at all, I don't think. But it's an interesting one to explore. And in the right situation, as I've already said, If I was flipping around getting some quick shots, I would switch it on. The main thrust of this video is to point out about the setting, to give you some information about the setting, and to show you some rough guide of examples, but do understand these are not exactly in the scientific lab examples, because the light was changing fast and also the framing has changed. So don't hold these as gospel differences. Do go out yourself. If it's something that interests you, go out and create your own test shots. Having had a look at this setting, it's good if you're shooting JPEGs straight out of camera. You don't want to bracket or post-process. You're photographing scenes with the bright highlights. There's real potential use to switch it on. If you're shooting RAW, I'd skip it. If you want full control of the ISO, as in you want the ISO less than 200, again, skip it because it's not possible. It's going to be a minimum 200. It has real use if you're just shooting some fast shots on JPEGs. It's got some real potential use, and if you're not bothered about the 200 ISO, you're in business. If you're shooting, you're bracketing, it becomes redundant, because essentially what the HTP is doing with the RAW file is bringing the exposure down, say by a stop, and preserving the highlights, which if you're bracketing, you're probably doing that anyhow, and indeed more. You're giving yourself even more choices. So, final verdict. If I was shooting fast shot in a situation where there was highlights, I'd think about switching this setting on. If I'm bracketing certainly with RAW files, or indeed even if I was bracketing with JPEGs and I wanted the 100 ISO, I just wouldn't bother with it at all. But I can see why some people certainly use it in certain situations. And indeed, you can see there is a place for this. Sometimes it's good to check these settings out just in case you're missing out on something. I do hope you found the video interesting. Do subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.